I'm 36 now, but at the time I was 35, and I just thought, maybe there's another way to do this. You know, what are the reasons that I have a drink?
Well, on a completely unrelated note, I can't let you go without asking about your alcohol-free journey as well.
Yeah.
Which I think I'm right in saying that you've given up booze recently.
Yeah.
Is it recently? Or?
Yeah. From January the 1st, nearly a year now coming up.
A very good mate of mine who's actually also got a design agency. He lives out here and he does all my stuff actually.
Is it Jamie?
Oh yeah,
Jamie. I know Jamie from Manchester. Yeah.
Oh really?
So we spoke a few times about this. Yeah.
Okay, so Jamie's been free from the 1st of January as well actually. So
yeah, he's a good guy. I mean, to be honest with you, I just got to a point where I kind of had this theory in my head that we're all kind of playing around between, if you think of energy as like a percentage, we're all kind of like getting to the point where we're, I don't know, let's say we start with 100% energy and then you go out and have a drink and you get pretty blasted. You wake up the next day, you're at like 40-50% energy. You make bad decisions from that, right? So you don't go to the gym that day. You normally eat like, you know, burgers and shitty food. And then it normally leaks into the next day. So in order to return to 100% energy, you would not have to really drink again for probably around 2 or 3 weeks, because you always feel a little bit of it, because it's like your sleep gets affected, your diet gets affected, your energy gets affected, and you just go through this repetitive cycle of never really returning to 100% energy. And I just started thinking, well, I wonder what I would achieve if I was always at like 100, or at least I was living between 100% and 80%, you know, depending on if I'd had bad food or I didn't get great sleep. And then also, I think I just got to a point where I'm like, I partied all over the world. Like, you know, I've got blackout drunk. I've had so much fun. I'm 36 now, but at the time I was 35, and I just thought, maybe there's another way to do this. You know, what are the reasons that I have a drink? And I really started to look into that. And I think that's the most important part for anyone that's interested, is like, why do you drink? And for me, I'm like, you know, there's loads of reasons why people drink, especially with British culture. It's like, you drink when you're happy, you drink when you're sad, you drink when you're stressed, like you drink to have confidence, to talk to people, to be yourself when you're out in public, you know. And I just started thinking, all these things feel a bit broken. Maybe I should try and fix what's underneath them. So if I can fix my confidence, if I can be happy being somewhere where everyone else is drinking and I'm not, then if I fix that, that's no longer a problem. So then if I decide to drink, it's because I like to have a drink. It's not because I'm trying to solve a problem that I have or cut off and relax from something.
So are you going to go back to drinking?
No, not now. Yeah.
As in, you think you are done?
100%. I for me personally, I don't care if anyone drinks. It means nothing to me. You know, I'm not preaching that everyone needs to quit drinking. For me, it was the right decision. I am 100 times better as a person in my discipline, my focus, my productivity, my mood, you know, how I react to things, everything. I would say like my central nervous system is just like peace all the time. And I wouldn't want to disrupt that. So it started off just as like, let's just do this for a few months, become super healthy and just see how I feel, to the point of realizing that I never needed it. And actually, you know, if I'd have carried on, I would never have solved the problems that I've solved over the last 6 to 8 months or so. And I feel like a completely different person to who I was before last year. So I'm like coming up to this next new year, and I'm like, you know, I'm sure you've had this similar experience, right? You ever been in a club where it feels like everyone is just having sort of like paid fun, fake fun? You know, it's like everyone's getting smashed. One of your mates has had way too much, so he's like falling all over the place, saying shit he should not be saying. You know,
I mean, so I've never been a big drinker, right? I mean, I love red wine. Never really liked the taste of booze. I mean, as a kid, my kind of go-to, I say kid until about 38, my go-to's always been Smirnoff Ice, or, you know, Iron Brew WKD. So yeah, something like that. I think I was an older demographic that they never actually planned for in the marketing plan. But I've never been a big drinker. So I completely get behind, you know, many people quitting. I'll happily say I'll never quit, because I don't really have anything to quit from. I mean, like, you know, like in the last 2 months, I've probably drunk 6 glasses of wine. That is my total alcohol consumption. But I don't have a problem that I need to fix. Therefore, I'm not going to put like a finite thing on something. You know, like I know I love my red. I also am acutely aware of the fact that if I have more than half a bottle, then I'm going to wake up feeling 100 years old tomorrow, and therefore, you know, we'll do it either never or very, very infrequently. But I can't stand drinkers. like I look at people boozing, and for me, you know, male or female, and it's funny how we change our views as we get older, isn't it?
Definitely.
You know, like as we were kids, when we were kids, we're like, I've got to get those birds fucked up so we can shag them, you know. And now I look at a drunk bird, and I don't find anything more unattractive than a drunk woman. I mean, it's just for me, you know. And again, it's not me preaching. I'm not saying don't ever drink, but you know, just the fucking mess you look like, and then the knock-on effect on the days after. And the guys, again, just the same. You know, I'm in WhatsApp groups of various birthday parties that I've ultimately not gone to because I just can't be arsed standing around 30, 40, 50 people getting smashed. Yeah, the booze leads to the gear leads to whatever's fucking next, and it's just not for me. Now that said, I'll never quit because I want my red wine, but it's just it is just a horrible place to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it really does come back to that why. You know, when I see people who are like absolutely wasted weekend after weekend, there's normally something that they're avoiding. And what's happened to me is after around 3 months of not drinking, I always describe it to my friends sort of like looking in the mirror. You know, it really felt like a moment where I saw myself quite differently. You know, my training got really, really good, and I lost about 9 kg just purely, and I wasn't even a big drinker, but I think it was all the things that came after drinking, like the diet and the sleep and the not training properly.
Well, I mean, yeah, it just goes on, doesn't it? The calories of the booze knocked onto the fact you don't train properly the next day, knocked onto the fact that you would rather eat a McDonald's than a salad, you know, to feel better. And you know that if you say that, I don't know, the calorific cost of a bottle of wine is, I don't know, 800-900 calories, the true calorific cost of that is probably 5,000 calories.
Definitely,
when you play it out with all the knock-on effects, and definitely a lost day in the gym is a bare minimum.
I saw something the other day, and it said going out and getting drunk tonight is borrowing happiness from tomorrow. It's like you got to pay for it. You get extra happiness or whatever, and you feel like you're having fun with everyone, but the next day you're going to be low. And the knock-on effect, like you said, the steps that come after it, they're the problem, I think. But from like a productive point of view as well, you know, I have this theory that, like, you know, your whole reality is purely based on the story that you tell yourself every day. You know, so if you wake up and you decide that, you know, you're a fucking winner and like you will not accept anything but that, you're going to build a great company, you are meant to be where you are meant to be doing what you're doing, you know, then you will make actions every day and steps to take that will do that. The problem with getting, you know, being hungover, not even being drunk, but being hungover quite frequently, is it's very easy to start to tell yourself that you're the person who's late. You're the person who's not reliable. You're the person who goes, I can't bother to do that today. You know, it's the difference between waking up and jumping out of bed and getting on with the thing you're meant to be doing, even if it's boring as hell, or going, do you know what? I'm so hungover. I'm just not doing anything today. And I wonder how many of those I can't be bothered today start to change, you know, the reality and the story you tell yourself over time. And I've spent, you know, I'll be honest with you, it's been quite a mind-altering experience just from that initial decision to stop drinking to all of the thoughts I've had after, and all of the realizations I've had about who I am as a person and like the story that I tell myself. And I genuinely feel like a completely different person coming nearly a year later now. And that's why for me, I'm like, this new person doesn't ever need to drink. So for me, it's just absolutely no point. I also love red wine, especially with steak. It's amazing. But the principle of it doesn't make sense to me to change or alter my state of mind when I'm so happy being who I am. It's like, why would I change it, you know?
Well, I'll let you smell a glass of mine one day.